you get the flu and you get the. It's not the vaccine is proven for it, but this is a different thing. So anyway, whatever the science is, but like I said, hockey's done. There's no way logistically they're going to be able to get this in place. And then, like I said, you talk about putting the advertisers, and if the players and the owners and the advertisers are the only people who are going to make money, that doesn't help all the people who work in security, in the vendors, in the concession stands, and in ticket sales, and all that other stuff. Those people will still be out of work. It's just not going to happen. So I just don't see.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I think that, there are ways. You're not going to get everybody back to work, obviously, just because you're starting sports again, but you're going to get some people back to work. Again, it has to be in a good spot, though. I'm not advocating to do this just to do it or to do it haphazardly. I mean, everything has to be done safely and in a controlled environment, which isn't easy to do. And it may be impossible to do. But I think they should look at it and see if it's feasible and definitely not take any chances. Because like I said earlier, I mean, you're so far along, and especially if you're not talking about starting till July, at that point, who cares? Like, I really don't care anymore about this season. Like, I don't need to see it. And I even said the other day on Twitter, like, if they come up with some crazy playoff scenario where you're putting 24 teams in the playoffs, which is something that's been thrown out there, like, I'm sorry, you can't hand that team a Stanley Cup. You can't, because you've completely modified the entire structure of what it is and what you're doing. I mean, there's no way. I mean, there's an asterisk on top of an asterisk if you're giving that team a Stanley Cup. It's sort of, we always give Devils fans a hard time for winning the Cup in '95 after the lockout, how that's not like a real cup. But, I mean, forget it. If a team would win the Cup this year, there's no way you can actually hand them the Stanley Cup if they win the championship. I mean, you could call it something else. Yeah, you won the COVID-19 tournament, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think I'd feel comfortable. And again, it's just my opinion. Giving out a Stanley Cup in any type of modified tournament, playoff, whatever they come up with. To go along with the fact that it's 3 months or 2 months after you shut down the entire season, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'm just saying from that standpoint. Look, would I love to see live hockey? And if you're like, we're just going to do a tournament and it's all safe and blah, blah, blah. And again, that's a pipe dream. I get it. Yeah, I'd be all for it. I'd love it. But I think just logistically, there's just too much. There's just too much in the way. There's too many roadblocks.
And what about the AHL players? And what about the college players? And what about the Canadian League players, the Western Hockey League? Won't they get jealous if only the NHL can come back?
Who cares about them? I don't care about them.
I just, look, positive as hell. Want it all. It's got to come back right. I don't see any of this stuff. Even if you're talking about football right now and even baseball, I don't know. I mean, baseball definitely, obviously, right now, there's got to be some sort of miracle here, which obviously, we'll all hope for. We'll hope for some kind of advancement here and they can figure out, but for some government official, whether it's, our guy here in New York or the guy running the country and the federal government, whatever the heck it is, and believe me, there's some governors now in states across the country that are going to take some chances here and everything else. But, we're all going to wait and see. Go ahead, take the chance. But there's people still dying. There's people still on the front lines, and it's pretty scary. So just sports right now is just an absolute ridiculous thing. I'm damn angry. I'm freaking got to go out and go to the stores and wear gloves and masks and, it's like just everything, and afraid of bumping into people and all this crap, you know what I'm saying? But for the long term, because we all want to get this back going. Crap, I'm a musician. I miss playing live. I miss hanging out. We all do. It's all the social stuff. It's all the, but we have to just kind of just chill out. And I just don't see any of it coming back. So that's hockey number one, football and stuff. It's all this wishful, hopeful thinking, I guess, which we have to do. It's the first time we're going through this as a modern society and everything else, but I don't see any of it happening. I don't see the point of it. I don't see how it makes any sense. And I'm telling you right now, KD, none of them are doing any of this stuff unless they can make money. Nobody's just going to do it for the sake of keeping the game. Nobody's going to, do it for the sake of the sport or whatever. And the NHL, all these sports leagues, they've all done strikes. They've all canceled seasons. They've all done lockdowns and lockouts and scab players and all that stuff. We've all been through it when there was nothing going on. And it would blow me away, and I'd love to be wrong, but for them to do anything where they're not going to make money, forget about the safety thing, and just calling up all the players, hey, you guys want to come over and leave your families and, play some hockey for a while, even though whatever, or any sport. But I digress. We're going on and on. But I guess this is what we'll be watching here every week and seeing reports coming out, and they got to keep it interesting. But I personally think, I agree with you. Just shut the whole damn thing down and start, just let it go and start looking into next year and hopefully, and that'll happen. And when's next year? Crap, training camp would be September. That's not going to happen. I lost you, didn't I, Kev? You're gone, right? You left?
Well,
you went back to play Uno.
Just listening. Well, it's funny. What I was thinking, is, and you're just thinking about everything. That's right. You think about everything going on right now, and it's funny to hear you say, you're afraid to bump into people. My wife and I, we go on walks, every day. We see somebody, a mile away on the same side of the street as us.
Terrible.
We, run to the other side of the street.
It's awful.
It's just oh, my God. It really is crazy. Just the change of mindset that you have. It's amazing. I mean, you really have that, and you should, you have that fear, man. It's definitely frightening. Anyway.
It stinks. Anyway, until they figure it all out, we'll watch press conferences and try and get too inundated with the news and all the different theories and conspiracies, and we'll wait. So where do you want to go here, pal? I guess we just, that's that. I see you getting a little trouble with this Fox Rangers league that you got going on, this playoff series. Is somebody giving you a hard time?
I saw you gave me a hard time. You called me insane the other day, whatever you said.
Well,
you left a little comment.
I think,
me.
God bless your creativity, man, but I was just wow, you're really putting a lot of time into this.
I am. I basically made one of the game recaps basically the plot of Slapshot.
I saw that. I did.
So, and just so I'm not putting too much time on it. I basically wrote that while I was on the toilet. So, it's not taking me too much time to put this together. But, but yeah, apparently, there's some guy who's pretty angry with my faux recaps. And, what are you going to do? He wished my father would get coronavirus and die. So,
what is that? What is that all about?
It's actually funny. Apparently, this guy is some crazy guy who goes after a lot of Ranger fans and loses it on him. So it's almost like a badge of honor that I've felt his sort of wrath. So, I actually feel good about it. But, it's funny. It is funny because I'm doing it as a joke. And I mentioned this either last week or whenever we were talking about it. There are people that are seriously dude, stop. What are you doing? I'm who cares? I'm what else do you have? You got nothing else. I'm doing something funny. I'm putting out content and you just enjoy it. I mean, trust me, there's more people saying they love it than they don't. But it's just funny to see that people get angry about it. I don't know. Yes, it is stupid. Again, I based one recap on the plot of Slapshot. This week, I said JD played goal and had a shutout. It's ridiculous. It's supposed to be ridiculous. Enjoy yourself. It's tough outside right now. Enjoy the ridiculousness.
So what's this about Davison getting a net?
Well, as we've said on this podcast numerous times, the three-headed goalie monster.
The Rangers beat Boston. So they beat Boston. Take us into this game one against Tampa. What the hell happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, as we've mentioned on this podcast a number of times, the three-headed goalie monster isn't sustainable. It's not. So, it all came to a head before game one when the three goalies were upset. Said to Quinn, either pick one of us or none of us are playing. And Quinn said, go screw yourself. none of you playing, and he called up to JD, similar to when Lester Patrick back in 1928, I think it was, came in.
You've been listening to Sticks and Taps.
Oh yeah, that's it. I do. I listen to you guys. It's good. I got to get that history. Actually, I was looking on Wikipedia. And
we talked about this the other.
Not that I didn't know the story, but I just had to make sure I had everything down. And similar to Lester Patrick, they brought JD in to fill in, and he led the team to victory. So actually tonight, we're missing game 2. It's happening right now. It's tonight. I'm DVRing it. I'll watch it later. So there'll be a recap on tonight's game. I get a feeling Tampa may win, just a feeling. And
you're the only one. You're the only one who knows.
That's right. It's funny. I have people tweeting me like, "So are the Rangers going to win the cup?" Well, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yes,
it's all a feel. It's a day by day thing.
You do have an idea. You've got books and pages. I know you've written this whole thing already.
I have it all written down. I have you ever see Beautiful Mind when he has that board and he's matching shit up, and that's what it looks like in my basement.
Buddy, do yourself a favor. You gotta put all this stuff in. You gotta save all this stuff, because if you're all gonna bring this thing to the end, I may not personally, and maybe.
What do you mean if I'm gonna bring it to the end? Of course I'm gonna bring it. We're gonna stop.
I don't know.
I'm gonna end.
You got a long way to go.
I'm gonna end the season early because of a mysterious virus. That's my out. If I run out of storylines, I'm like, oh, virus. Shut the league down.
Oh my god.
By the way, that may be a storyline. I was gonna put that in already, but I wasn't sure if people, too soon type stuff. I don't know if we can laugh at the coronavirus yet.
No, absolutely. But we can laugh.
I figured I get some. I'm getting hate stuff anyway, so might as well.
But I think this would be great if you had this in book form at the end, or in paperback, and you could make this, and then we could I would go back and I would read it from the beginning. Following it on Twitter can be a little tough or whatever, checking in and all this stuff and blah blah blah. But I think if you put all this together, and we get to the end of it, however the story ends, man, I think it would be a rip to have it in book form or something that you could look forward and put it up and check it out, and just it'd be a piece of history, buddy. Kevin DeLury history.
Yeah. You know what's funny? As we're talking this out, I just came up with the ending. It's gonna be fantastic.
All right. Well, we don't want to know. We want to be.
I don't know what I'm talking about. It's gonna be great.
All right, buddy. Will you keep that going? And I hope that guy who's not happy, maybe you reach out to him and maybe you ask him if there's a storyline that you can put in there that will make him happy, and maybe he'll apologize and take back those horrible things he said on Twitter, if that's possible, and maybe you could forgive him.
Yeah, well, I forgive him already. I actually feel bad for him. I don't get angry about that stuff. I actually feel bad for anybody who gets that angry about things.
Could that be a Fox Twitter account, like a fake? Could that be somebody pretending to give you the business?
No. Apparently, I had a lot of people come up to me and say they know the guy, and he's insane. So I don't think there's any type of. Yeah. All
right, well, I'm going to steer clear of that guy because I don't need that stuff in my life, all right?
I always find it funny that, his complaint was I'm clogging up his feed. It's you just have to unfollow the Facebook page. And you'll never see it, ever.
Yep. There you go. That's good. You should you should put the instructions out for everybody, KD.
I know. I did. I told him. I said, look, I was like, I know this is groundbreaking, but you could just unfollow the page and you'll never hear from me ever again. So... just in case you didn't know.
Some of the greatest buttons ever put on Twitter and Facebook is unfollow and mute and block. It's great stuff. And I'm sure some people have used it on me, but I don't know. And that stuff doesn't bother me. So anyway, good luck with that. We'll so it's the Rangers are up 1-0, right, going into tonight's game. Right? This
yeah. I wonder what's going on right now.
And that's Davidson's first win in God only knows how many years. But congratulations to JD. And Will he be in? Is he in tonight? I didn't see the game.
I don't know. I didn't see what happened.
Okay.